Hello, and thanks for joining us for B-Sides Pittsburgh 2026 Speaker Series. My name is Justin Leapline, and I'm one of the hosts on the Distilled Security podcast. Today, I have with me Mudita Khurana. Mudita, could you introduce yourself and discuss a little bit about your talk?
Sure, yeah. As you said, my name is Mudita Khurana. I am a tech lead security engineer at Airbnb. I've been in the industry for about 10, 11 years. I started back in India, where I'm from, moved to the US, spent some 7 years at Meta doing a lot of different things, including being an EM for a little bit. But then,
Okay.
given the AI and the revolution that it's bringing to our industry, I decided it's a good time to go back to being an IC, be close to the work. So that's exactly what I did, and I've been at Airbnb for the last year or so.
Gotcha. Awesome. And tell us a little bit about the talk you're giving at B-Sides Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so essentially, I'm gonna talk about security agent evaluation. Like I said, AI has completely revolutionized the way we deal with security. And one of the things that we do, right, is use AI to do a bunch of things that we used to do manually a couple of years ago. And last year, I actually wrote a paper which introduces a framework that helps you do such evaluation.
Okay.
One of the biggest problems that I saw is that whatever benchmarks and evaluation frameworks we have out there focus mostly on the outcome of these agents, right? So if you build an agent to say, hey, find me vulnerability in my code, right? Or you do a pen test of my application, they only look for, hey, did the agent find the bug that it was looking that we
Right.
wanted it to look for?
The completionist, it did it find all, 10 bugs that I have hidden in
Exactly.
there, all that. Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
good. Sure, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't really tell you a lot, right? It doesn't tell you that, hey, why did I miss the 3 bugs, right? Like, what happened? How do I make it do 10 on 10 and not 7 on, right? And like, what are the agentic capabilities it's actually exercising or not exercising under the hood, right? It's not using its memory properly. Is it not planning? And I mean, again, we all use AI not just for our professional work, but generally for other things too. And we will see that sometimes you say something and it's like it acts like it knows nothing, and you're like, "Come on, dude, I told you this."
I just gave you this 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. So we all know that, we're still figuring LLMs out. We're still figuring their usage out in security. So that's one gap that I noticed, that we are focusing a lot on outcome and not on capability. So in my talk, I'm going to talk about the framework that I introduced, which
Okay.
helps look at agentic capabilities over and above the outcome. Of course, I'm not saying don't look at the outcome, but I'm also saying use the capabilities to understand how to improve the outcome or to understand the outcome. So that's the whole premise of my talk. And I also give some examples of how this fails, or, like, why is this important? And, specifically for my employer, for Airbnb, we found areas where we actually saw this happen in person, and just give you just to make you also relate to the problem a little bit more, in case you haven't already related to the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And I think that's a huge need for a lot of different people. And I think, I don't know your talk or anything, but like kind of intertwining deterministic type tooling process into non-deterministic usage really helps to define and also like be repeatable, over the time, if you can get that good balance in between the two, into that, instead of being wholly non-deterministic, into that.
Exactly.
So,
And in
yeah.
fact, one of the capabilities we do look at is like, how is it using those tools, right? To your point, we do need tools. All of these LLMs do, to be slightly more predictable at places, and, able to do their job. But also, are they using these tools properly, right? Like, just because I say, go use grep, go use this, is it really using it? Is it using it the way I expect it to use it and giving me the result
Right.
I want?
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. So, for the people that are coming to your talk, what are a couple of things you hope they're walking away with?
Uh, I would say majorly 3 things. First being just exactly what you and I just discussed, right? Like, outcome, just looking at the outcome is not enough. You need to look at more just to understand how to increase the outcome. How do I debug, and how do I really know what my agent is doing? Because you could have an agent that on a benchmark gives you amazing results, but when you bring it to your own production, right, that might not carry forward, right? It might
Gotcha.
not be the same result. So that's one. The second is just that we should be using agentic capabilities, and some examples of agentic capabilities that one should use when understanding how an agent is working and what's happening under the hood. And thirdly, hopefully, the framework that I do introduce that gives people a starting point, right? Again, I'm not saying use this framework. If there are others out there, if there's not, maybe someone in the audience takes this on and like actually creates a much better framework. But at least I give you a starting point of like, okay, this is what you can possibly do, and maybe even make that better, like write more papers, do more research, but just leave the people with that kind of seed in their mind.
Yeah, whatever it is, you need some type of structure around evaluations, and whether that's yours or building block to something better. Yeah,
Exactly.
100% agree,
Yeah.
to that. Great. Well, it sounds like an awesome talk and everything. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it into there. Is there anything else you're looking forward to from a conference perspective?
Actually, one fun fact, I did my master's at CMU.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
And I'm coming back to Pittsburgh after exactly 8 years. So I landed in the US sometime. Actually, not exactly, but almost. I landed in the US August of 2018, and I'm
Okay.
coming back July 2026. So I'm really excited to come back to Pittsburgh. It holds a very special place in my heart.
Nice.
I think I'm going to walk around, look at, if I get the time, go to CMU campus, just like,
Yeah. Visit all the old watering holes, go to the O for,
Yeah.
a hot dog or something like that.
Exactly. So that's plan one.
Yeah.
Very candidly, it's over. It's above the actual conference. Like that's the first thing I'm going to do as I land.
Yeah.
But of course, like jokes aside, really excited to come, meet new people. I'm in California, but I do try to
Okay.
go to more local conferences outside of California just to also relate to like the problems people are facing, because Silicon Valley, although great, we tend to all walk in a herd a little bit. Like, there's one problem and then there's 10 people trying to solve the same problem. But I feel like new ideas come in when you go and you network with people who are not so much in the same bubble. And Pittsburgh is great. There's a lot of really good talent there. So I'm really hoping to network with a bunch of people, see the kind of problems they're facing, and, learn a few things from them as they might learn from me. And then there's a couple of talks that I'm really looking forward to. I remember there's one around a trust framework that's kind of closely related to some of the work that I do. So I'm really, looking forward to that talk. And then there's another one which is not related to the work I do, but I'm still curious, which is the Agentic SOC.
Okay.
I felt like the name of the talk was very exciting. So looking forward to the
I
talks.
think the gentleman that is doing that, we had one of the interviews like this onto it. So
Oh, cool.
definitely check that out. He gives a little teaser onto it, just like
I
you.
will.
So
I absolutely will. But yeah, totally looking forward. I think it's going to be a very good one.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time for this. I really appreciate it. The talk sounds awesome. So for those in the audience, make sure you come visit her onto this. And we'll be doing a number of these for other speakers. So stay tuned for that. Thank you, everyone.